All right, Doston, welcome back to Crypto Brain. Over the past few hours, the XRP community has been flooded with one of the biggest discussions we've seen in recent weeks. Across social media, one phrase keeps appearing again and again: the $32 million XRP story. Some investors believe it could signal something significant, while others see it as nothing more than another viral narrative. As speculation continues to spread, thousands of XRP holders are asking the same question. Is this simply another social media rumor? Or is there a much bigger institutional story unfolding behind the scenes that most of the market hasn't noticed yet? But wait, that isn't even the most important part of today's story. While retail investors continue reacting to headlines, price movements, and online speculation, some of the world's largest financial institutions are quietly preparing for the next stage of blockchain-powered financial infrastructure. And if the current institutional direction continues, today's viral discussion may eventually prove to be only a small part of a much bigger picture. So make sure you stay until the very end of today's video, because the institutional developments we're about to discuss could completely change the way you look at XRP and the future of digital finance. If we're completely honest, the crypto market has never rewarded investors who simply chase headlines. Every single week brings another breaking story, another bold prediction, or another viral narrative. However, experienced investors understand that the biggest opportunities usually appear when the majority of the market is looking somewhere else. Perhaps that's exactly why conversations surrounding institutional finance, blockchain infrastructure, and digital settlement networks have become far more important over recent months. Across global financial markets, some of the world's largest institutions have noticeably accelerated their work on tokenization, digital settlement systems, and blockchain-powered financial infrastructure. This is no longer a conversation limited to crypto-native companies. Banks, asset managers, and payment providers are actively exploring technologies that could support the financial system of the next decade. That is where the psychology of the market begins to change completely. Retail investors usually ask one question: when will XRP pump? Institutions ask something entirely different: which technology can securely support the future of global finance? That single difference separates short-term speculation from long-term strategic positioning. Perhaps that's one of the reasons Ripple and the XRP ecosystem continue appearing in institutional conversations. Increasingly, the focus isn't just on digital assets themselves, but on liquidity, settlement efficiency, compliance, and enterprise-grade financial infrastructure. Meanwhile, the viral $32 million XRP discussion has naturally captured enormous attention across social media. Yet experienced market participants rarely stop at the headline. Instead, they focus on the broader institutional picture developing behind the scenes. History has taught financial markets the same lesson time and time again. Every major transformation begins with infrastructure. First, the infrastructure evolves. Then institutions begin adopting it. Liquidity gradually follows. Only afterwards does the wider market realize that a completely new phase has already begun. Perhaps that's exactly where we find ourselves today. Discussions surrounding regulatory clarity continue gaining momentum. Stablecoins are expanding rapidly. Real-world asset tokenization continues to accelerate. Enterprise blockchain adoption is increasing across multiple industries. Governments, regulators, and financial institutions are paying closer attention than ever before. That means the biggest question may no longer be where XRP moves next on the price chart. The real question is something much bigger. Has the future financial system already begun its quiet transition towards blockchain infrastructure? If the answer eventually proves to be yes, then many of today's headlines may simply represent the earliest signs of a much larger transformation. That may explain why experienced investors are no longer watching price action alone. They're watching infrastructure, they're watching regulation, they're watching institutional participation. Because while headlines can dominate social media for a single day, infrastructure has the potential to shape financial markets for decades. And perhaps that's the most important takeaway from today's discussion. The crypto market will always be full of rumors, speculation, and emotional reactions. Some stories disappear within hours, while others become defining moments for the entire industry. That's exactly why experienced investors focus on facts, adoption and long-term developments rather than making decisions based purely on viral narratives. Whether the $32 million XRP discussion ultimately proves to be significant or simply another social media story, one thing is becoming increasingly clear. The conversation surrounding blockchain technology is no longer just about cryptocurrency trading. Today it's about digital settlements, enterprise finance, tokenization, institutional adoption, and the future of the global financial system. Only time will reveal how everything unfolds. But one thing is certain. Institutional attention towards blockchain technology continues to grow, and whenever institutions begin positioning for the future, smart investors pay very close attention. If you enjoyed today's analysis, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to Crypto Brain, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest institutional crypto updates. I'd also love to hear your thoughts. Do you believe XRP is quietly positioning itself for the next phase of institutional adoption, or do you think the market is still missing the bigger picture? Thank you so much for watching. Stay informed, stay disciplined, always do your own research, and I'll see you in the next video.